Here we go. We've got our herbs. We've got chili powder, mustard, onion powder, granulated garlic, cumin, and little cayenne pepper. And then always just kosher salt and ground black pepper. We've got our ribs rinsed in this hotel pan, 4-inch hotel pan. We've got 6 racks. In the center hotel pan, we're gonna set up our rub. And I don't really measure this stuff out. I just kind of eyeball it. So I'm gonna start with that. Leah, if you want to grab the mustard. And mustard's it's a pretty benign spice. We're not worried about having too much. I think that looks pretty good.
I think it's perfect.
And I like to have the chili powder be the bulk of the spices, and then we just balance that out with salt at the end. So from there, onion. How about onion? Again, pretty benign. It adds a really nice flavor. Not as potent as garlic, which is coming up next. But all right, I'm gonna take granulated garlic and then cumin. Let's go about half the amount of onion powder. And then I have some cayenne pepper. Goes a really long way. All right, and then finally we'll go with salt. So we'll get our salt in here too. All right, so I just gave 2 pinches for each rack of ribs.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes.
And then pepper. Again, it's gonna bring a little bit of heat. And then what do you think when you look at that? Pretty colorful?
Yeah.
Are you getting excited or what?
I'm really excited.
All right, so next step here, we're just gonna mix this up. Leah, do you want to go ahead and give it a shot? Yeah, see what, oh, very nice, yeah. And then when we combine it with the moisture that's on the surface of these ribs, it'll give us a little bit deeper color. So I'll show you one here. In the spice, we're just gonna lay this in the spice mix, the rub. Shake it off. Take it out, there you go. Bam, all right, I'm up. And I always like to get these ends, make sure to get the ends. That'll absorb a lot of the rub. All right, so here we are. We've got our smoke vault. This is made by Camp Chef. Great product. I totally recommend it. I'm gonna show you just kind of how it works. We've got a flame in the bottom. The burner's down here. This is our smoke tray that we put our chips in. And then just above that is a water tray. And what this will do is it'll catch some of the drippings, but it will also keep a moist environment. Over here, we've got a bucket of pecan and cherry. Those have been soaking for a couple of hours, and I think that'll be long enough to give us a good hard smoke. So go ahead, Leah, if you want to grab and just kind of strain those out of there into this tray. And I want you to think about just leveling this off, maybe coming 1 centimeter above the rim of the, there you go. Get a little bit in there and right there. If you want to cover that, you can put both of them on at the same time. Looking good. Now what I want you to think about is we're gonna need to slide it onto this rail. So let's just tighten these edges. And then we've got a paring knife there. You want to grab that and just poke. I want you to poke like 15 little holes in there. And then I'll do one here. And, all right. The reason we do this is this is going to allow the smoke to come out, but it limits the amount of oxygen that can get into the chips, and that will make sure that they smoke and they don't start on fire. Right above the flame. What do we have here? Best you can, you don't want this stuff to touch. That way the smoke can touch on all sides. Next step, I'm just going to turn this. There's an igniter in there. Flame is on. It's going to go on high just until the smoke starts coming out. I usually put it on high for about a half an hour, and then I'll turn it down and start setting my temperature. Okay, so it's been a couple of hours on the ribs. We're going to do a step that will help us maintain moisture. I'm going to pull this out. We've got some foil up above. I'm going to set this in and then spritz. And in this bottle I've got 3 parts apple juice to 1 part apple cider vinegar. Then go ahead and wrap those up. Boom. There we go. We'll swap that out. The goal of this step here is just to maintain moisture. We're adding a little bit of sweetness. We got a little bite from the vinegar, and in the end, it's all gonna be awesome. So there it is. We'll close her back up. We'll just keep rolling about 200, 225. I'm gonna say 1 more hour. All right, so the ribs are done. I've turned off the smoker and just let them rest for about a half hour now. It's down to 100 degrees. I'm just gonna pop this baby open and pull the ribs into this pan. All right, so let's pull one of these babies out. Let's see what we have. I can tell just by looking that we've got, when I can see the bone there, that means that this is gonna be tender. Yeah, and you can see, pull this right from the bone. Mm. 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 Man, that is good. Let me tell you, I wish you guys could taste this. But a good way to do it, if you're gonna cut them, is from the backside down. Best way to do it is just to let them cool a little bit longer, and then you can kind of get these separate pieces with the bones still intact, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's a pretty nice rib. We got our little smoke line, it's all intact. But then when we go to eat it, it just peels right away from the bone. Baby is pretty clean right there. What'd you say? So anyway, I want to say thank you to Leah, the world's greatest volleyball player, Hinky, for helping out with these. I finished them off and I'm just about to dig in. So once again, Paleo Nick here helping you keep it paleo.